Good evening, viewers, wherever you are watching from, whether you are watching within Uganda or from the diaspora. We are glad you have made NTV your #1 station. We are also happy that every Saturday you are watching NTV People's Parliament. It is the only program in this country that gives wananchi opportunity to speak about their everyday life. Tonight, we are in Bududa district, my home area, where we are going to discuss yet a very important topic that does not only affect the people of Bududa, but it affects the entire country. And that is teenager pregnancies and child marriages. Wherever you are, in whichever district you are, let us work towards ending child marriages and teenage pregnancies. Honorable members, you are welcome to NTV People's Parliament. We are here in Bududa district, and I am glad you have come in big numbers to speak about issues that affect your everyday life. And I'm sure teenage pregnancies and child marriages has affected each and every family in this country and in Bududa at large. But before we begin this debate, I would like to invite our partners, Advocacy for Better Health, to come and give us a preamble on how big the problem is. I am told it is very rampant in Bududa district. Where I also come from, I have seen it, it is rampant. We are previously in Buteleja district, where we have the youngest grandmother in the entire world. It is recorded. I don't know what it is in Bududa. Please, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the floor to address this August House, the People's Parliament. And I greet all the people of Bududa in the name of our Lord. My name is Deo Agaba, and I work for PATH on the USAID Advocacy for Better Health. Honorable members, allow me to give a general overview. I am not going to give the specifics of Bududa district because there are people here who are better placed to give that information.
Yeah, we have the chairman of the district who will tell us about Bududa.
Yes. So I'm just going to give you a general overview on the topic of our discussion, and then give you people of Bududa a chance to share facts and experiences on this issue in your own context. As an advocacy project, our main concern is that there are many stakeholders who are doing a lot of work, but we don't seem to be doing enough about some of the issues that affect us in our daily lives. And here specifically, we are talking about child marriages, we are talking about teenage pregnancy. The reason we choose to partner with NTV, to use this platform, to give everyone a chance, I am sure the entire district is here, and I'm very happy about that. And before we go any further, I want to ask three simple questions. I want to take the role of a teacher and ask 3 questions. How many of us here have heard about the issue of child marriages? And I want to see hands up. If you have heard about it, hands up.
Or if you have experienced it.
Okay, the next question is, how many of us here have seen children being married off?
Even parents who have married them off intentionally.
The third one is, how many of us are married to children? Okay, I don't see any hand up. But that tells me that all of us here are accomplices. I think the DPCs here, they have better words.
And the fact that they have not put up their hands, even those who have pregnant young girls, that means it's a bad thing. Exactly. We agree?
So my point, Madam Speaker, is we know that this vice is happening in our society. Maybe it is happening in our own homes, but we have chosen to keep quiet about it. For me, in my opinion, if you're here and you know you're married to a minor, a child, a teenager who is below 18 years of age, or if you know your neighbor has a child who is married, you should bring yourself to the DPC and they arrest you. Because you are an accomplice. It is criminal, it is illegal, and we should not tolerate it. And the opportunity we have today is for us to discuss what exactly can we do. I know we are going to do a lot of lamenting, but we need to think about critical actions. What can we do? Each one of us has a role to play. What can I do as someone who works on a USAID Advocacy for Better Health project? What can the RDC do? What can the DPC do? So what can the ordinary citizen do So our role here is to reflect, lament, but also think about critical actions that we can take to end child marriages, to end teenage pregnancies. I want to give you some simple statistic from the 2016 Uganda Demographic and Health Survey. Bugisu region has teenage pregnancy rates at 28.2%. That is close to 30%. And that is higher than the national average, which is 25%. Now, if I went further to look for statistics of Bududa, probably it could be more than that. I don't know, but you have the statistics. So, what does this mean? There are so many implications. We are going to contextualize our topic today on the services related to maternal and child health. So when we talk about children being mothers at that age, what does it mean for our health facilities? Just yesterday, we visited a health facility here in Bududa. When you see people seated in the outpatients, but the majority are young mothers carrying babies, you feel like shedding tears. We shouldn't live with this like it is very normal, because we can never have the Nandutus of this world when children are carrying babies as young as 13, as young as 15. So I am challenging each one of us as we debate in today's parliament to think about critical solutions and workable solutions that can help all of us change the situation.
Okay.
Every child deserves a better future.
Okay.
Every young girl deserves better. We should not subject our children to daring children, and yet we are the perpetrators, and we are seated, we are not arresting ourselves, even when the police is within us. So we need to challenge ourselves today and see what concrete actions are we going to take to address this issue in Bududa. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. That's a very good preamble. I don't know whether we are leading or we are number 2. But what I know is teenage pregnancies and child marriages in Bududa are rampant. But what can we do as a district to end this? It is upon you, a parent, a sister, a police officer, all leaders, to ensure that we end this and allow our girls go to school and become better leaders of this country. May I have the chairman of Bududa district to tell us how bad it is in his district and how he is managing it? Because we gave you votes.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker, and other leaders who are here, including the RDC, DPC, the District Council, all people of Bududa. The topic today is not very healthy to Bududa district, because these are figures which have been proved through research, and therefore it gives a very bad picture around the whole country and maybe even the world, to see Bududa leading in areas of early marriages and pregnancy, child pregnancy. Many of you may think it is so healthy because you married your kid at such an early age and you got some money. But generally, to the government, it is not good. Now, Bududa is a very small district with a land area of about 272 square kilometers. Half of the land is taken up by the national park. That means the area remaining is where the people occupy, cultivate, stay. Eventually, the population is over and above the national average. The national average is talking about 500 people living in 1 square kilometer. Bududa, we are talking about over 1,200 people living on 1 square kilometer. You can see the situation. That means we must do a lot in order to recover from all these bad habits, especially the early child marriage and the early pregnancies, teenage marriages. We have also the land formation, which is quite difficult. You realize a kid or a child climbing a hill, taking about 1 hour or 2 hours to reach home, and also coming down. As a government, we have tried to ensure we bring services near to the people by providing schools near. But still,
so those long distances of children from home to school have contributed to child marriages and early pregnancies?
Yeah, it is part of the issue. Part of the issue, but I am coming to it finally as I deliver as I elaborate.
As you consider time, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, now as we move, because of those factors of distance movement and also maybe failure of us as parents to help our kids to and fro to where they can get services, the element of getting tempted along the way comes in. We have been all along singing about our parents providing food at school to our kids. But many of us who are here have failed to do so. And in the process of this kid walking a long distance, at one time I held a meeting around, and I came a bit late in this sub-county, where we are. I got those who were supposed to attend to attend the meeting all dozing. Then I asked them, how long have you been here? They said, we came here from 9 up to 3 now. And I said, why are you dozing? We are very hungry. Then I asked, how do you compare your kid you send to school from morning to evening? What do you expect that kid to be doing at this time? Don't you think the kid is also dozing? Said it is true. Then what are you doing? What are you helping? What are you doing in terms of helping these people? So the situation, as we said, is not good, but it is also partly contributed by our parents. And unless our parents wake up and take decision, firm decision, and say, whether the government says we are not paying for food, but for us, we must pay food, the kids will settle in the schools, wait until that time of going back home. So as I wind up, I was also looking at the fertility rate, fertility average. Bududa is one of the highest fertility, women with fertility.
So the women of Bududa are very fertile.
Truly very fertile. The rate is high. It's over and above the...
Even the young girls are fertile?
Yeah, of course, that's why they get pregnant. That's why they get pregnant. Otherwise, somebody who is not fertile cannot get pregnant. So it is also an issue. Two, just as I said, that because of the land area where you are stepping from your door, then the next step is on the door of your neighbor. Many kids end up even, from home, tempted to the just next house. Because the distance is so minimal. By the time the father or the mother wakes up, something has already been done. So that one is also a contribution because of the land area, and it has also affected us.
Okay.
But finally, as I conclude, as leadership of Bududa, we have never encouraged that. We have continued working together with police, and the police can bear my witness. When they get hold of you, you don't even appeal to the chairman. I know you are my voters, but once you are a captive of that nature, please, don't even appeal to me.
Okay.
Because one thing as Bududa, I want to tell you that there are times when we look for members of boards and commissions and committees, women representative, the affirmative action, we normally fail to get even a single qualified person to take over a post on the commission or board or committee. So we must come out with deliberate moves to ensure that we protect the girl child.
Thank
so that
you.
in the future, we avoid all these scenarios of importing people to come and take over posts or positions on commissions, boards, and committees.
Thank you, Honorable. It is really unfortunate. It's unfortunate that you look for a girl to take up a job and they are not there because, first of all, they got pregnant before they finished school, or they got married before they finished school. So as Bududa district, it is time that we move forward and end child marriages and teenage pregnancies. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we are going to hear from the people of Bududa district. Yes, welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Bududa district. The topic is, what can we do as a district and the nation at large to end teenage pregnancies and child marriages? What can we do as the people, and what can we do as leaders? Honorable members, what can we do?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I am Bududa San, the district vice chairman. Madam Speaker, what is causing child marriages in Bududa and teenage pregnancies are very many reasons. One is culture. You realize that during a circumcision period, you see our girls, the young girls dancing kadondi when they are halfway naked. So that exposure, that nakedness exposes them to the sexual...
So during a year like this one, many girls get pregnant and married?
That is true.
Is that true, honorable members?
Yes. You'll find that they dance halfway naked, and that exposes them to the sexual thirsty hyenas. I'm sorry to use the term hyena. Because they do wrong thing, that's why I'm calling them hyenas. So when you see a girl dancing naked, as a man you get tempted. And more so when you are not educated to know that engaging in sexual activity with a girl who is younger than 18 years, you are committing a crime. You may not know. So they end up either luring them into sex or even raping them. And that ends up with the teenage pregnancy, and as a result, they may also be forced to get married because they are pregnant.
Yes.
Secondly, Madam Speaker, poverty is also another important factor. You realize that some of our parents are poor, and therefore they are forced to marry off their daughters.
So they look at the young girls as wealth in the family.
Yes, as wealth, but also as he marries off the one daughter, is now downloading the road of buying flour, water, and all the necessities. So the only way to reduce on the burden is to marry them off, such that they can now reduce on the numbers they are supposed to fend for. So that is a problem.
Thank you.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I will give you another opportunity. But honorable members, why should you dance naked? Why do you expose yourself to hyenas, like the vice chairman has said? Okay, you have the platform, honorable member.
The custodian of the parliament and the house at large. I may not agree with my LOC5 chairperson due to the specific reason that I'm going to give. Because one thing that I've discovered, parents are financially handicapped. Much as Bududa may be having the resources, but the resources that we have, there are no additional value that we have added in that resources.
So it's the poverty that makes you to take away, to marry off your children at an early age?
Yes, that had contributed that.
Have you done it?
Not yet. And we appeal to government to match the resources that we have. We also have the additional value. For instance, like Bogoya, whereas we take in Kenya. So if at all we can have the additional value that we could add to our resources, I think that we could make out to triumph poverty.
Okay. Thank you, honorable member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Nabula Rachel,
Look to the audience.
District Youth Councillor, and I also double as a head mentor in Arlington Academy of Hope. There are so many issues that really take young girls into marriages and pregnancies. Poverty has been already addressed, but I feel it has not really been satisfied. I have not been satisfied. It's not that because parents are poor that they are marrying off their children.
It is just greed for money.
But these children also are not being provided for, and so they are looking for a way of survival. If they are in school, they are looking, how do I go and get sugarcane? How do I get a book? And in that way, as they get to someone is using that opportunity of poverty to use these young children. And another thing that has highly contributed to this is, Madam Speaker, parental neglect. You'll identify that in Bududa, you'll bear me witness that in Bududa, at the age of 10, a parent has already set off their child. Cannot provide a cloth, cannot provide a book, cannot provide shoes. And this girl at 10, at 12 is in body changes and wants to look good, wants to be like others. So in that, this child is going to, for other people, for men, how do I look good? She has put on a panty, she has put on a nice skirt. So those people use that opportunity to use this girl so that they can provide a cloth, shoes, or a book.
And at the end of it, they get pregnant. Thank you. Please, you have the platform.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Dorothy Nafungo, Namasho Women Group. I want to tell you that it is a true child begins at home. It is we parents who are teaching these children to do all what results in pregnancy. Madam Speaker, when you try to visit the homes of Bududa during cultural ceremony, you cannot find anybody at home.
Even the mothers have gone.
Parents, father and mother, they have gone to dance kadodi. And during that dance, it is the parents who are the soloists, and they chorusing with their children.
The microphone.
They chorusing with their children those obscene songs, and from there the children.
So, honorable member, so the mother goes out to dance half naked, and then the girl also goes out to dance half naked.
Also the children. And they are the very people who chorusing those who chorusing those obscene songs, and they are the children learn that this and this is done like this. So they also go for boys that very evening when they are coming from Kadodi.
Very unfortunate, honorable members.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for granting me this opportunity. I will first of all recognize the local government officials who are here and the organizers of this ceremony. For me, I would like to talk about the ignorance of some parents. Indeed, the issue of child marriages and teenage pregnancies is going to be achieved through parents' intervention into these issues of eliminating child pregnancies. In fact, the parents play a paramount role in the manners of the child. You find that a parent does not have time to spend with his or her child to give her advice of the demerits of child marriages. Then after the child becoming a victim of child marriage and teenage pregnancy, that they start advising, and yet he's already spoiled. Therefore, the parents who are here,
they should begin earlier.
You should begin earlier by advising your children early enough about the limits and disadvantages of child marriages and teenage pregnancies.
Thank you for that point.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm called Tuya Agatha from Blue Check SS. These are some of the points which are contributing to early marriages and child pregnancies. Lack of guidance and counseling in schools and even at home, even churches. We students, there is no way we are acquiring these skills of counseling and guidance, and we don't know the what? We don't know the effects, and when we get pregnant, we don't know what is going to happen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm called Masika James, Councillor representing people with disability in Bududa district. I want first of all to thank the advocates for better health that to bring this issue for us to discuss. First and foremost, I want to put to the parents that the attitude of the parents, because they consider a boy rather than a girl child. And in Bududa, this is very rampant. They think that a girl child is born to be married so that they can get wealth. So in the instance that they are dropping the girls, then those girls be attempted to do early marriages. And then another thing is that we as parents, we don't have time to have meetings at home. Because normally when we have family meetings, you can also talk to your children and tell them the issue of early marriages, and even be frank and tell them that when you have sex when you are at this age, then you will get pregnant at this age, maybe you will not be able to produce well. So instead, those children will grow up and knowing that getting pregnant when you are at the early age is bad. Madam Speaker,
yes.
adolescent stage also matters a lot. Because when a child reaches at that stage, those changes in the body can drive them to do bad things. At the end of the day, even parents, when you talk, they don't want to agree because of that stage. We need also to counsel them. And religious leaders are not also doing a lot. More so these born-again churches. At times when these children go there, they don't counsel them that this is bad. Instead, they say, you look for one, and then when one is not married, then they get married. And both churches, music at night, then they say one, do by two.
Somebody wants to give information on them, please.
I'm Honorable Ben Obuteya from Lushoko constituency. I just want to inform the current speaker that the churches are playing a very big role to transform and to cause a difference as far as child is concerned.
Madam,
for example,
specific on newborn churches.
Please.
Madam Speaker, defend me. For example, he said born again are playing a very big role to so that they reconcile the young girl child to that they prosper.
Okay.
There is no way how a church, a born-again church, has ever made such a mistake to see that they influence these young girls to go into marriage.
Madam Speaker, have you ever had the sexual activities?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam
Thank
Speaker.
you for the point. Thank you. I would like to agree with the Honorable Buteya that the church is playing a very important role to ensure that they counsel these teenagers to go to school. But those parents who think that girls are useless, you should drop that attitude. Girls these days are very important. Afande, you get up and they see you. Wave to these people. She's a lady, if she did not go to school. A very big lady in the district. We have another one here. She's a lady. A very big lady officer in the district. So consider your girls and ensure that your girls go to school and complete education. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, the people of Bududa are still talking against teenage pregnancies and child marriages. Yes, welcome back. You are still watching your favorite program, NTV People's Parliament, the only platform in this country that gives Ugandans the opportunity to speak about issues that affect their everyday life. We are in Bududa district, my home area, the home area of the Speaker of People's Parliament, discussing a very important topic about teenage pregnancies and child marriages. We want to work as a country and we want to work as leaders to ensure that we prevent these girls from child marriages such that we develop our country. Honorable members, what can we do now?
Madam Speaker, I'm so grateful to have brought this parliament at Burucheke here, where you are born, in Bududa district. I would like to tell you that, Madam Speaker, this is very useful to bring it in Bududa, because in Bududa here, where you are born, where you come from, child marriage and teenager wound pregnancy. This is brought because of parents who are too greedy, who are like we are like animals. Who caused this? You cannot allow your child to get married to someone who's over 30 years. Now, how can a child of 10 years sleep with a girl of 10 years, a man of 30 years? It is a shaming, and it is at Lambert in Bududa here, Madam Speaker. So, kindly, Madam Speaker, ask this DPC of Bududa here to put effort in such things, to see that any police person, like as they have Bududa police here, to ask his police officer or OC station, Mr. Bayo from Musebei, to arrest a person who sleeps with a child who is too old, too young.
Thank you. Thank you, Haji Mustafa. Actually, Haji Mustafa should serve as an example. He has educated all his children, both girls and boys. And some of them I studied with them in Mwari Primary School here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I would like to talk about culture. There are some negative aspects of our culture which marginalize the girl child. For example, during E-number celebrations, boys who have been initiated into manhood are allowed culturally to carry the girls and take them for sex. So this one is a retrogressive cultural aspect which we should discourage.
Mr. Chairman.
Then,
a moment, Honorable Member. Mr. Chairman, bad cultures should be abolished. What are you doing as a district? How can you allow a person who wants to test his manhood to carry a small child away for sex?
You know, the worst thing is that culture is recognized. But of course...
But not in crime.
But of course, not in crime. And two, we are living in a changing world whereby people have got to change according to situations. Today, we are talking about aid skilling. Sincerely speaking, there is no culture which can allow a person to go and have sex without testing yourself.
But they carry them away.
Carrying,
broad daylight.
I think carrying ended some time back. It is no longer very practical.
It has stopped.
It has stopped.
Okay, good. If it has stopped. Thank you. Thank you. You can go ahead.
Yeah, then there is another negative cultural aspect. When boys are initiated into manhood, they, in fact, after healing, they encourage them to go and do what we call huhara kumusiro. They have to test their manhood with a girl. So such cultures are negative and should be discouraged.
Yes, yes. But let's have order, honorable members.
Madam Speaker, the information I want to give the Brigadier Speaker is that the issue which he had says the Hohara Komolind, it is done on the old women, not girls.
No, on the boys. When a boy has got circumcised and has healed, he has to test his manhood. So such cultural practices should be discouraged. Okay. Another thing that I would like to mention
can we have order in the house, please?
Is that in our culture, in our society, we tend to regard girl child as inferior persons. In fact, I'm a senior inspector of schools. But when you go in schools inspecting, you'll find out that in most schools, the number of boys is more than the number of girls, meaning that the parents are paying more attention to the boys
but less attention to the girls. So I encourage you, using this forum, that let us pay more attention, actually equal attention, to both the girls and boys. And also historically, we have proved that the girls, after the coming of colonial rule, few girls were taken for education, but the majority of the people who accessed education were boys.
Okay.
So, and I have many examples. I cannot exhaust it here, but I have written a comprehensive book which was launched at Mutoto. The Honorable Minister Irene Muloni took a copy to His Excellency the President. Honorable Minister of Gender took a copy.
And you can table one before People's Parliament.
And this copy here, I have now tabled it before People's Parliament. It is entitled History of Masabaland and Other Missing Stories.
Okay.
I have written here even things concerning the beginning of education in Bududa district.
Thank you.
And I have given you the first people to access education in Bududa district. You'll realize that many of them are men. Only few people, like Oliver Wodeha, Mareva, then Namono, the sister of Ezekiel Wamboka, they are the only people who accessed education in the 1930s.
Thank you.
So let's pay more attention to our girls.
Thank you.
Let's treat women with respect.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you table my book before? Yes. Thank you.
I'm called the Honorable Zipporah Wamoto. I agree with the past speakers as a pattern and as a pattern and advocacy for better health. I'm from Namasha Women Group. I agree with the past speakers. Being on the ground, we have categorized those issues affecting child marriage in 4 categories. And the first category is about the parents. All what has been spoken concerns the parents, and they have forgotten their role of counseling. We used to have singers who are no longer doing their role.
And many of them now spend their time at drinking places.
Yeah. Then parents take girls as income in the home. They have large families. As a result of large families, they divorce, and the girls are now mothers in the home caring for the younger children. Then we have also categorized in the government itself. The government is not enforcing the laws. Even if you bring a case, they don't enforce. Then girls also themselves, they admire a lot. And they are very ignorant of what is going to happen on them. Being in adolescent stage, they have high libido, which forces them to go in and try to see what is happening if they go with men. As a result, they become pregnant. When they become pregnant, they are chased from home that you go and marry. When they go and marry, the boy will run away from that one and look for another one. Then again, our security personnel, I thank them down the ground. When you have a case and you take to security personnel, for the start, they can react and you say sincerely they have come to help. But in the middle there, you get confused of how the case has ended.
The file will get disappeared.
Yes, the file will get disappeared. That one, that is the research we have done under Namasha Women Group.
This have you heard?
Then in conclusion, I thank the health workers, the DHO and her team. They have started youth-friendly services at health units, but it is not wide. So we request that the DHO should put more effort to health workers to sensitize the community that we have youth-friendly services.
Please
that we have youth-friendly services. And then maybe we request the DHO also to train more staffs. Like when you go in the unit, you have only 2 health workers trained. but not all the staffs are trained. So when those two are absent and the youth comes, there will be no one to attend to that youth. So we request that they should train more health workers in the unit so that they can be able to handle every girl child who goes to the health unit.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. Can I give you 1 minute, please? Just 1 minute like this. Information wait.
I'm known by the name Peter. I have just 1 point. But first of all, I will thank the government for giving us or implementing the law as marriages are concerned. Because a person to get married, he should have at least 18 above. But again, our old men go in touch with girls who have reached 20 years. As a result, they produce children. They fail even they fail to provide what? Help or sustainability. Maybe children to go to school, they fail because a man has got old, is not old enough.
Somebody wants to give you information, please. There's a young girl who wants to give you information. Be precise, please, Honorable Member.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. My parent is talking a lie. It is not only 20 years, it is not only 20 years children getting married, but you can even get a 12-year going to get married. And even it is the advice from the parents. When a parent goes to the parents will give just a small piece of money to the police, and they will agree that girl to stay there at her husband's place. He will not go away from that. That is a right.
It is a result. It is a result of what I'm talking.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the information, young girl. You can see it is very tricky.
It is a result of what I'm talking.
Okay, thank you. I'll give you another opportunity. You can go and sit. Here, girls, order, honorable members. In Bududa, girls of 13 years are getting married or are getting pregnant. And when they get pregnant, the parents talk with police. The perpetrator gives the parents some money, and the parent gives the police officer some money, and they kill the case. So the crimes continue to. It is very unfortunate. I think you have heard from the people of Bududa. Because of time constraints, we cannot finish this topic today. But because it is very important, we shall complete it next Saturday. I'm very glad you have been faithful. Thank you for attending People's Parliament, and thank you for watching People's Parliament. I am your speaker, Agnes Nandutu, and I aspire to inspire you before I expire. With powers conferred upon me as the Speaker of People's Parliament, I adjourn this House until next Saturday, when we shall continue with the same topic.
The views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.